Here we go. Hey everyone, happy Sunday. Welcome to
Hey,
Extraordinary
everybody.
Women. Hey, we got Sister Sophia in the house, and we also got our special guest, Sister Goddess Ash. Say hi, everybody.
Hello.
Ah, so today, guys, we are talking about part two about predictions and what to expect from 2026. Okay. Tonight, we're diving into the future of American politics, global power shifts, and the wild cards that could shake the entire landscape in 2026 and beyond. If part one had you leaning in, part two is about to pull you all the way to the edge of your seat, okay? We're talking elections, policy battles, cultural movements, and the political players who will shape the headlines willingly or not. And to help us break all of this down, I have a special guest show joining us, which I already introduced you to, which is Sister Goddess Ash. And we also have our regular schmegular, Sister Sophia. All right. Now, I was talking to Sister Ash a few weeks ago. Oh my goodness. And she was bringing it. I was like, look, girl, you have to be part of our prediction show straight up, because on a political front, whew, it was a lot. But before we begin, I have to say that I'm wearing a scarf and hat set, not because I'm cold, well, I am, but also because one of my good girlfriends, Millicent Clark, out of California, I think she lives in Texas now. She made this. This is a custom set that she made. It's a hat and scarf set. It's giving rich auntie vibes. Okay, I feel so luxurious and it's nice and warm, and it's so quality made. So I'm happy I made this purchase from her, and I will link her information in the bottom below so you guys can support. But okay, ladies. Okay, Ash, tell us a little bit about yourself since you are new. Well, you're not new. I interviewed with you before, but since you are new right now in 2026, tell us a little bit
Okay.
about you.
So the best way for me to describe myself is I call myself, I have all the clairs. I'm
Yes.
clairsentient, clairaudient, clair, just pick a clair,
Clairvoyant.
pick a clair, and it's me. Um, I do life coaching, for people, both in their professional and personal lives. I do readings. I can do them via telephone, video, and in person. Um, that's about all I do right now.
And let me
I'm
tell you
limited.
guys, as far as the life coach thing, I can vouch for Ash life coaching, because she has put me on my spiritual path. And I've told you ladies that at the beginning of our conversation, but she really opened me up to my spiritual path. So if you ever want to book her,
Yeah,
she'll make you
it's
right. All right,
yeah.
ladies. So last week, me and Sister Sophia, we talked about a little bit of predictions. We talked about what humans are going towards, gearing to. We talked a little bit about religion. We talked a little bit about um, just humankind itself. Okay, but tonight I really kind of want to focus on the political aspect of the predictions, because as you see, Trump already overtook Venezuela. Okay, Trump is also trying to acquire Greenland. I'm not sure if all these things that he's doing is legal or not, but I wanted to get your perspective on what you think is going on. And we'll start with you, Sister Sophia. Give us your take on what you think is going on right now in this political climate.
Whoa, there's so many layers. It's like, where do you begin? As far as the acquisition of those two countries, you're right when you say you're not sure if they're legal, because basically they aren't.
Mhm.
But more than that, they put us in such, well, with Venezuela and Greenland, they're two different things. And he talks about going after resources. He's going after oil from Venezuela, but there's another political underbelly thing that's going on there. And I think that that's more what he's focusing on as opposed to the resources. Because from what I understand and what I'm feeling is the oil companies are not really supportive of it because it's too much risk for them. So they're not really wanting to go in and reestablish their presences there because the country's too volatile, especially now that it's been destabilized. Part of, I think, why he went there was, he got the Nobel Prize from the lady that won the Nobel Prize. She gifted it to him. I guess that was her payment for giving him the country. But anyway, there was a lot of talk about political insurgents coming into the country under Venezuelan passports and what have you. And so supposedly there's a stronghold of the radicals here in America that are a threat to us. And so I think that that may be the more underlying thing about Venezuela. As far as Greenland is concerned, yeah, there are a lot of resources there, but the invasion of Greenland also violates the NATO treaty and puts us at great political risk. If he goes against them, it actually puts us on the opposing side of the rest of the NATO organization. So that put us in a really difficult political position, not to mention spreading us so thin militarily, being the only one who's on our side to fight these wars. Is going to really undermine us politically, and I don't necessarily think that he sees that. That's not the kind of person he is. He doesn't see things from visioning the well-being of the whole. He sees it from his own perspective, and as far as he's concerned, he's running it like he does any other business deal. I want it, it's mine. If you don't give it to me, I'll destroy you. And that puts us at great risk in the global world. It's not a business deal like he's used to doing and, bulldozing his way through. But I don't think he has the wherewithal to envision the consequences of what will happen if he does do that. That's not going to stop him. But at this point in time, the risk is greater than the reward from my perspective.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Guys, if you want to join in the conversation, please give us a call at 347-620-6771. Again, 347-620-6771. Our number is right there. So join in the conversation and let us know your thoughts. And Sister Ash, what are your thoughts?
Well, you remember our conversation from about 10 years ago, and I told you that what was shown to me was that there was going to be an attempted coup in this country. Do you remember that conversation? And I forewarned again in 2017, this wasn't an election, this was a coup. So this is where we are. However, it's not going the way that they thought. Trump is a useful idiot to I say that disrespectfully.
But it's true.
He's a useful idiot who was groomed by Roy Cohn. So he is, I have to explain to people that there's a difference between, well, I'm not going to get into that. We'll go into that's something I'll share with you offline, Yolanda. Okay. And then if you want me to come back on, I'm more than happy to share.
If we feel like it's appropriate.
Yeah. So, yeah, because I don't want to
left off camera.
Right. I mean, I don't have no fear.
Oh no, neither do I. We all are fearless.
Yes. So what was given to me was that, and I'm glancing at my notes because I have to write things down because when it rains, it pours in. So spring equinox, change in American government twice.
Right. Yes, so we did talk about that before. You did state that there will be a change in American government. Now, when we say change in the American government, are you suggesting that there's going to be a separate party added on to what we already
No.
know as the Republicans and Democrats?
Okay, so in 2008, I was told that the Republican Party would be beaten, bloodied, and bludgeoned by their own hand, and that they would go the way of the Whig Party. That is happening as we speak. I was also
Yeah.
shown that
History
the
repeating itself.
the Democratic Party would splinter, and it would be what remains of the cognitively functional Republicans would fold into the Democratic Party, and the Democratic Party would splinter, and the progressives would take, and they're not going to be called the Progressive Democratic Party. They're just going to be called the Progressive Party. That's the party that's coming into power. That's the arm of the party that's coming into power. I was told in 2012, I think. I'd have to go find my notes for that, but that Barack Obama will be president 3 times. And I was like, when I initially got the information, my ego received it. And I was like, yeah, that's constitutionally impossible because of, Franklin Roosevelt. And Devine said, but who are we? And I was like, ooh, say less. Because I'm going to say less. I'm going to say less.
Now you did tell me that, and that shocked me. Because I was like, what the heck? But then again, it's a possibility because Trump was talking about having a 3rd time presidency himself. And I was like, well, that's illegal. But then he said, and his crony said that anything is possible. So anything is possible.
Well, so, and this is just the surface of things. So they're going to nullify him.
Yeah.
And Kamala was a formidable attorney, prosecutor. They're going to nullify both of his elections. Nullifying the 2017 election will mean that there was no transference of power
interesting.
in 2017. So Barack would have to step back in as an interim. Biden will decline. He'll ask Kamala to come in and to be his vice president. Before all this happens, it's going to come out that the 2024 election was rigged. And they're going to show back and show that 2017 was rigged. This is how they nullify him. And so, because what was shown to me was that Barack steps back in, he'll be an interim just to bring calm. They told me that judicial heads, those in the executive department, and those in the legislative body, they're going to jail. I was told that 3 Supreme Court justices are going to jail. 1 will die before he gets that opportunity, and I'm kind of sure who that is. But that will remove all his appointees to the Supreme Court. Gone. So Kamala will probably step in. I don't like giving time frames really, because divine time. Yeah, but because divine time and our time, two completely different things. Right. So let's just, when they say it's a change in government twice, it's not changing like they're gonna fight and they're gonna snatch the power back from him. That's not how, because when I tell you that America and the world is going to breathe a sigh of relief when Barack steps back on the stage, the world is gonna be, oh, thank you, Black Jesus, thank you.
Especially with what's going on today. We got attorney Nicole Compton in the house. Hey girl, how you doing? She said that's crazy. She gave it to him in hopes of to garner his favor. Who does that? Exactly, sis. And she also said what he did was not legal. It wasn't legal
at all.
Not at all.
At all. No.
Yeah. Okay. So, ladies, that was heavy. That was heavy. Okay. I predicted back in 2024 that Trump wasn't going to survive the presidency. And I'm not saying he won't die. No. But there will be something that happens that allows him to be removed if that makes sense. What are your thoughts? Sister Sophia, go ahead.
Well, health will be a factor, though
That's
I
what I
don't
was
think that's
saying.
the only thing.
That's
I
what I
don't
was
think that's
saying.
going to be the only thing.
Right.
Um, because of the time we're in,
Mm-hmm.
and many of those conservatives who are running rampant right now don't recognize that the energy of the time that we are in is changed. Their way of doing business is no longer supported by the spiritual evolution or ascension, if you will. And I'm really not wanting to use that word as much, but that has a lot to do with it because we are, as a species and a planet, as a solar system, are going through an evolution that's never happened before. They
Mm-hmm.
don't see it because they're all fighting and scrapping, trying to hold on to their lack and limitation and their power and all this other crap that's been going on for eons. So they aren't noticing that the system that we have been working with no longer supports their egotistical, power grabbing, domineering, to hell with everybody else as long as I get my billions. That alone is going to undermine who and what they are and how things come together. I love the way Goddess is describing it because I knew and I know about the underlying war that a lot of people aren't even talking about, that the dark and the light. That's the real situation that's shifting. But I love the way she described it on a physical level, because it's like, wow, that makes sense. Now I can see how the pieces fit together. I didn't have all the other information because I knew that was where we were headed, but I couldn't see the pieces. She's
Right.
filled in a lot of blanks for me. And I'm happy. Like I said, I can't wait to hear what she was going to say, because I just had a feeling she's about to give us some information that's going to turn the lights on.
Well, she already gave me the info.
Yeah, and so, well, yeah, that's why you had her on. But I just met her this evening, and I'm like, oh yeah, now I can see it. Now it's making more sense. And I have been telling you before about the 2 elections, and I told you they laid out how that was happening in the disclosure of the sci-fi movies. Most people, because they introduced sci-fi to us as entertainment, most people don't know how to read the truth within the scripts and the presentation. But I told you there were 2 movies that talked about how those elections were stolen, and there's others too, but there were 2 main ones. It laid it out, and because we didn't say anything, we gave permission for them to go
Yeah.
ahead with it.
Is it the
And
Wonder
so they
Woman
did.
movie that you referred to before?
Remember I told you that the whole story about this last election was laid out in Wonder Woman 19,
Yeah, you
was it
did say it. Yeah, and I
1984?
have still yet to see it, but
That whole thing, the scenario with Elon Musk and the government and how he did it was all laid out. The other one that kind of lays out the same way is The Kingsman, which is the one that what's his name, Samuel Jackson played the bad guy. But there's other movies too, bits and pieces here and there. We won't even start to mention The Matrix, but
yeah.
all of those disclosure movies that we took for entertainment. See, the rule is free will choice. Divine gift says you can't do anything to someone else without jeopardizing yourself unless they give permission. Well, saying nothing and doing nothing is permission. And so because they decided to put it in sci-fi movies and say, hey, this is entertainment, it's fake fiction, instead of science, no, it's fiction, it's science fiction. Okay, well, they put all this stuff in the movies, gave it to us as entertainment, and we go, that was so good. And we don't think about it as being real. But there are some, especially now, because I'm older than both of you, and I remember sci-fi when it started. And I remember now, as I look back on not only the movies, but a lot of TV series, and I'm a sci-fi nut, always have been. But now I go back and see these movies and TV series and things and go, shit, this is nothing but disclosure. Yeah. We just didn't have enough information to be able to discern the truth. But, and saying that, he's going to have an episode. There's going to be something happening with him that's going to take him out of the picture. Part of it's going to be legal. I mean, after all, we've already convicted the man of crimes that would have sent anybody else to prison. And there's other stuff that's still hanging out there, but he bought all these, lawyers and judges so that they would do what he wanted to do. But all that stuff is about to break under its own weight. So
Yeah.
I think he's going to be eliminated just by the fact that he's got too much shit hanging out. He's going to get buried under the pile. But then there's the whole party of his little followers, his little minions.
Mhm.
Their day is coming too, because it's just no longer it's not the kind of environment where that stuff can stay buried. There is too much light coming into the earth. Everything in shadow and in darkness is about to be revealed.
Yep.
It's just the way it has to be. So I would like for
You're the age of the Aquarius.
to tell us some more connecting the dots information. I want to hear what she has to say about how these revelations are going to come up, because people are going to lose their minds when
Yeah,
some
they
of this
are.
stuff is fan.
So,
They're
Goddess
gonna-
Mother, let me ask you this, because I saw when I said, Trump is going to have some type of episode that takes him out. And, even Attorney Compton said he may have set it up himself. Who knows?
I wouldn't
No,
put it past
who knows? But I saw you kind of shake your head. What were your thoughts? What were you thinking? I'm curious.
Yeah, so these are bumbling idiots that are running this coup.
We already know
So
that.
yeah, so absolutely not. He's not going away. He will take everybody with him. He will not allow anybody. His ego, demented and all, won't allow that. But and to be outdone and undone by his arch nemesis, Barack, will spiral him.
Yes.
So
it already is.
yeah, will spiral him. I mean, this is why he wanted the Nobel Peace Prize, because Barack has one. He's been a useful idiot. And he's a dual citizen spy. That he was trained by, again, Roy Cohn for what he's doing. Their leverage is blackmail. And this is why it's not the Epstein files, it's the Trump files. Trump's grandfather ran a brothel.
He did. He did.
Now, didn't they come over from
Yeah,
Germany
he
with
did.
the whatchamacallit groups?
The
That
what
was his
The
father.
great-grandfather?
The great grandfather left Germany dodging the war there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. So anyway, let me get back to, because Divine is like, tell him. Oh, okay, calm it down, bro. So the shift is we're shifting out of the patriarchy into the matriarchy.
We are.
And years ago, Divine told me that it would be a Black woman that would lead. They just never gave me the face to it. So it is Kamala. Kamala's middle name is Debbie. Debbie is goddess. So we are entering into a new Black renaissance.
This is why there's
And
so much resistance right now with Black women. And just to counter what you said, Farrakhan even said that. He said that years ago. He said a woman is going to come in and step in and do the thing and do what needs to be done, because women, and he said it's going to be a Black woman. So when he said that, I was like, wow, like people are not paying attention to that, but he said it.
Well, again,
but there's going to be a lot of violence and resistance, because as you see already, the uptick of violence against women it's hit. No, sis, look what's going on. I mean, this ICE agent,
but you're looking
this trick right in her face, and everybody's acting
but
like.
This is again okay. So let me interrupt you real quick.
Even though
this is a civil war, white people have been longing to relitigate their civil war. Okay, but the South never lost. It just got pushed behind the scene. They want to be upfront with who they are, and they can be. But the war we've always been the boogeyman. Who their real enemy has always been white women. This is a war between white men and white women. And I tell people,
I've
If you
always
don't
said
believe that white men do not like white women, pay attention to their horror films. Who's always the intended victim?
Good
It
point.
ain't us.
Good point. Good
that
point.
is so true. Yeah,
It ain't
that is so
us.
true. You know
If
what,
it was
Sister
us,
Mama?
hmm,
When I was in college, right? Even
hmm,
after college, I had a lot of white women. Every time when I would tell them something like an incident or whatever, they're like, "Oh my God, was it a black man?" I'm like, "Yeah," like, and they're like, "Oh, black men hate their women." They will always tell me that, and I was like, "Why are?" And I never heard that until I was like
projection.
in my 30s. Yeah, they was tell me black men hate their women. And I said, I don't think so. Like, I like,
But that's
I
what they
don't
were
think so.
taught.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
from my experience. You know what I'm
That's what
saying?
right.
they
Like,
were taught. See, they don't see the
but
true
they don't,
experience.
yeah.
What
I
they
was like, who
see
was telling
is
you
what
ladies
they have
this?
been taught. And
Yeah.
believe me, I deal with this a lot from where I'm, my situation. That whole scenario, and the way we are moving back into the quote unquote trad wife thing was never about us. It
Yeah.
was always about them regaining control and dominance over their women who have coming out of the kitchens and taken off aprons and starting to step
When
into their
was
power.
I ever in the kitchen with an apron on?
When I'm talking about they were coming out of kitchens when they were housewives, cooking and cleaning and having babies. That was what they
They,
did.
Some
There
of
yeah,
were
them.
no, they
no.
didn't. No, they
Well,
didn't.
okay,
We
wait.
ran their
Some of us,
household. Yeah.
I'm not
yes,
talking
some of
about
them
way
did and
back in the
some
day.
of
I'm
them
talking about
didn't.
like in
Oh,
my lifetime when they were housewives and mothers. They did not work up until the Second World War. Um, Basically, they had no power. They were property, just like
Yeah.
anybody else. And then the war came and they didn't have enough people to work the factory, so women went to work. And when the war was over, they didn't go necessarily back into being wives and mothers, but a lot of them did. But it wasn't until women's lib, because if it hadn't been for them, there wouldn't have been no women's lib. We weren't the ones fighting out there, fighting for rights and equality and jobs and stuff. It was them. But now they have put it in a situation where they're trying to get them back into the kitchen and into the baby factory, mode. And, first thing they did is take away abortion. You guys are going to have babies. And that was the Handmaid's Tale.
Well, men are not feeling very useful right now. And when they don't feel useful,
Well, I'm not going to say what I started. Let me not say that.
but they don't. A lot of men feel like, what can I do for a woman? Men need to feel like they're doing something in
But that's
society.
because they were given the
And
wrong role to start with.
that's true, because
okay.
they're the one who created the patriarchy, right?
Hey,
But if they
let me
feel
say
like
this.
they don't, it's just that if they feel like they don't have any power in society, powers over their households, they become out of control, which is what goddess, what? What? Which is why we see so much violence against there's a lot of violence against women right now. I've noticed the uptick. I
Okay,
know
so
it
I'm
has
gonna say
always
something.
been there. I'm not naive, but I did
No,
notice the
no.
uptick. And
It's
then I
not that,
noticed that,
mamas.
and also the way the relationships between men and women is so distorted right now. And it's because of women, coming into their power, women also working, women, making money and being able to support themselves. I saw something today where it says that women are, women earn money for freedom while men earn money for control. Women earn money for their freedom, and men earn money for their control.
Okay, you have to remember there's a white
I
community,
agree
white
with that.
mindset, and black mindset is two different. It's two different
Yeah.
things. Yeah, listen, black women
Have
wanted
always had their
money
freedom.
because black men started telling black women in the 80s and 90s, I want an independent woman. And so black women said, okay, I'm independent now. White women wanted freedom because I say this, I hypothesize that white men are innately homosexual and they see white women solely as a means to procreate. but because they're genetically recessive, they're not able to procreate with each other anymore, which is why for every abortion clinic that was placed in people of color's communities, a fertility clinic was placed in theirs, and which is why now they're having to look at all the men who are championing immigration are all married to immigrant women because they
You know what? You
can't.
make a good point. There was a black woman that I remember talking to. She was an older black woman. She was like in her 70s, and she said she never, and she was beautiful, y'all. I mean, drop dead gorgeous, still, okay, still fly. But she said that she never and never will mess with a white man because she automatically assumed he was gay. She was like, you have to always wonder if your white man is gay. She said, with black men, you can kind of guess most times. She said, but with white men, you always have to guess if they're gay or not.
Well, like I
You
said, I
always have
think
to
they're
wonder if
innately
they're
gay.
So
It's
there's
not.
no possibility. I mean,
Yeah, I
what you
don't
said could have
have
some type of
anything
truth
against.
to it.
Yeah, I don't have any issue with the gay community. I'm just telling you what
No, we
Spirit has
don't.
said to me. Yeah, is that they are innately homosexual, which is why the machismo and their fascination with the black penis. And I mean, you can get off into, Dr. The beautiful goddess, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing spoke on that in her the ISIS papers, Keys to the Colors. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? This is about genetic. If you know white people, this is what they call it, an extinction explosion. When
It
you
is.
know that you are they've known now for at least 85 years that they are genetically inferior. And so they've known this. They've known that they have a shelf life genetically because they're recessive. So, if you know that, I mean, it's like if you knew that you have an atomic bomb in your ovaries and your testicles, you trying to take everybody out with you.
Right.
And rather than see power, their perception of power, they've never been in power. They've never been the majority.
No.
I've long said that if you're truly superior, if the only way that you can feel superior is through oppression, repression, and depression of others, then you're weak as fuck.
And you're weak. Yep. I've
You're
always said
you're
that
weak as
too.
fuck. Yeah, you're weak as fuck. I also hypothesize that white people, but specifically white men, have a sadomasochistic kink. This is why they
Oh,
run up on
yeah.
black men and nigger, 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 nigger.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? If you, and it's like once they get beat up, they're like, oh, yes, yes. What is that? What is, if not a sadomasochistic kink, what is that? You know what I'm saying? And white women have always wanted the proximity of white power because they can be vile. And that's historically proven that some of the most brutal and cruelest slave masters were white women.
I know. Yeah.
We've always been the prototype. So it was everything when Sister Sophia was speaking earlier on white women and wanting them to go back to being housewives. Listen, here's something that dropped in my spirit a couple of days ago. We didn't start getting white mass shooters until black women stopped raising white children.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So they were housewives in name only. By housewife, they didn't have to do nothing. They had black women that came in and cooked. They had black women that came in and raised their children.
And raise their kids, yeah.
Well, not
You know
all
what I'm
of them
saying?
did. A lot of
I
them,
was
a
going
lot
to
of
say,
Not
not all of them did, but
not
yeah, there
all
was
of
a lot
them.
of them who were working in their own
Absolutely not.
way
Yeah,
back in the
absolutely
day,
not.
yeah, but I don't see that as like from my generation forward because too many of them didn't have the means to have.
Yeah, I
Women
mean that was
coming in.
a form of status, was to have a black maid and a black
Back in the
cook.
day, yeah, but
Yeah,
not
yeah.
the 50s, 40s, and 50s is when all that changed. Which is
More
where
in the
we are
60s.
now. Huh?
More in the 60s. It began in the 60s as white women began
We actually
to
began in
assert.
the 50s. I remember when I was a kid, because I was born in 51. And when I was a
Okay.
kid, the civil rights movement kind of sparked everybody's movement.
Mhm.
When Rosa Parks said, "I'm not getting up," it changed everything for everybody. And we became the picture of civil rights and the Black movement, but it also started the women's movement, the right for children. All of this kind of started around the same time, which was the beginning of the breakdown of the system. But it was also, and a lot of people don't realize, it was the beginning of I guess you could say, the universal decision to shift the planet from one of domination and control and enslavement and what have you into one of freedom and equality. It's when the divine feminine started to come back to the planet after she had been excommunicated, if you want to call it that. And the return of the divine feminine is what's really sparked all of this shifting and changing. When I talk about the dark and the light underneath the surface, that's the reason why
Absolutely.
all of this is going to happen, regardless as to what the Trumpans and the Republicans and anybody else
Mhm.
think on the planet. It's the return of the divine feminine and the
Absolutely.
unity of the divine feminine and the divine male that is really behind all of this on a
Yeah.
level that
So
they can't change. They can't
yeah.
stop.
So I began speaking on this, Sister Sophia, back in the 90s about the divine feminine, that there's a divine mother and a divine father. You have
Yeah,
we are duality.
yes.
And I wrote a piece on this. You can find it in my notes on Facebook, about the return of the divine mother is
Mm-hmm.
to bring us back into balance. This isn't
Mm-hmm.
about a lesser or a greater. We are equal. We are equal.
Absolutely.
We are each needed. There is no greater, lesser. There's no greater sex or lesser sex. We are equals.
Equal.
And we are it's like what they did was they inverted what the roles were. Men were the nurturers of children. Men were the nurturers of earth. Women were the warrior spirit. And if you just study nature, the lioness is who goes out and hunts. The lion just roars. Rawr! Okay,
Yeah,
you're
he's in
bad.
his presence,
Woo.
so we do all the work. And in every species, human,
Right,
animal,
exactly.
it's the female that cares for, brings in the life, and is the
Yes,
one that actually takes care of it.
That's why I
So
always said women are natural protectors. Women
well,
are,
that's
yes,
they
because
always say,
we
oh, you need
are,
protectors. No, women are
because
the natural
we are
protectors.
the life channel. We
Yeah.
are the portal.
well, let me say this. Women are women are cats. Cats are the protectors of the spirit realm.
Yeah.
We protect the man, and what our purpose in flesh is to protect man from his ego. And so the patriarchy represents the ego. I tell people, if let's just take the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
The Old Testament is allegory for the ego.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the Abrahamic God of the Old Testament was the male ego,
Mm-hmm.
because every commandment he gave, homeboy broke. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not rape, thou shalt not covet, thou shalt not. And so the white male system that we've been living under, he fashioned a God in his image, not in the image. And it's the image of the ego.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
Mm-hmm.
the Yeshua, the Jesus of that, represented the divine feminine. When you read the New Testament, when Yeshua sought counsel, he sought counsel with his wife and his mother, which pissed Paul off, who I believe Paul was a flaming homosexual and hated women, because he was mad because he didn't have he
We have to
didn't
say a
have
lot of
titties.
things about him.
Yeah. Just if you
Lord.
yeah, I mean, and again, not wanting to get off into the Bible, but these
Mhm.
are people that weren't even around when Yeshua was around. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
And that's one of the things
So
I always say.
yeah, so you know, I mean, I personally have sat, I've had conference with Yeshua Emmanuel, and he said of all the things that all the words that were attributed to me, the one thing I did say humans ignore, and that
Exactly.
is greater works than I shall you do.
Exactly.
You know, we are, like I tell my clients, listen, my gifts are not unique to me. Everybody is gifted. What blocks most from stepping into their power is responsibility.
Yeah.
And the analogy that I give is, say, I can throw a party and I can have a buffet table full of knowledge, a buffet table full of wisdom, a buffet table full of prosperity, a buffet table full of pick something else that people like. And then I can have a fountain, a lone fountain of responsibility. And there's only one rule in my party. You can partake of every table, but you must take sips of responsibility. People will fucking starve.
Yes, they will.
And
They
that's
will.
what religion has done. Religion has robbed people of responsibility. It's the devil. The devil is your ego. The divine source did not create some nemesis and unleashed it on. It's the ego.
The
And I
ego.
tell people, you do know, well, the devil is in the room with you, baby. All you got to do is get in the mirror. If when people say the devil made me do it, I said, you ever notice nobody blames the devil when it go right? It's all me.
Or they,
And then
or they give glory to God. Yeah.
no, yeah, but no, I'm saying when you do something vile and you get away with it, look how slick I am. You feel me?
That is
Nick was slick
true.
then, but when you get caught, it was the devil.
Something
Yeah.
It's
made
the
it,
devil in the
something
room.
else made them. Yeah, something else
Right.
made
It's
me do it.
always something in something. And so, like, I've posited this question that if you accept that Yeshua died for your sins, then that means you're born sinless.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then when you get in this in a church service and you're told that you were
You're
born
born
in
a
sin and
sinner.
you're never going to be
Right.
anything else. What I was raised in the Baptist church, which I left when I was 22 years old, something like that, because I used to get thrown out of Sunday school because I used to ask questions. And they didn't have answers, so I was considered disruptive. And my mother was always told that she asked too many questions. She always wanted to know why. One of the questions I used to ask was, "What was there before God?" Oh boy, that was like the worst thing to ever ask,
Oh, listen.
because there
I
were
used
no
to ask that
Listen.
answers.
question
And
too.
and so but the thing is, I was always a very curious thinking child, and you even as a young kid, you
Are
couldn't
you a
just tell me
Sagittarius?
something, and my honey, you couldn't tell me something without my mind going to the next level. Well, what
Absolutely.
or why? And I was always in trouble. But like I said, they used to put me out of Sunday school, and then when I got old enough to leave on my own, I was like, "Oh, you guys are crazy," because I didn't believe some of the things that they were saying were true about us. First of all, I didn't believe I was sinful or something broken or wrong.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel that way. So when I started, when I left the church and became spiritual, if you will, and I met a teacher who was giving me answers and showing me basically the answers inside of you. And if you go inside and listen and work there, then you will find your answers. That was when I met. I met Yeshua came to me one night in a dream back in 1977. Has never left me since. And in that dream, he came, and it was one of those things where, like there's some dreams that you have and you forget them before you wake up, and there's others you kind of remember. This dream happened in 77. I remember it in vivid detail. So I knew it wasn't a dream, it was a visitation.
It's a vision.
It was
a
and
vision.
that was where he introduced himself to me and told me, I have always been with you, will always be with you, but you have work to do. And your path will not be easy. And it's like, you ain't never lied, because it's been everything but easy. But at the same time, that companionship and that presence, that light has always been there. And in my darkest moments, it's my comfort. I literally, sometimes when I've had a really bad experience or something tough is happening, I literally will say, Yeshua, please come put your arms around me. Let me crawl up in your lap and sleep, because that's the only place I felt safe and protected. And once I would make that request, within 10, 15 minutes, I go back to sleep. Yeah, it was always, and still, even to this day, and Yolanda, some of the things that I've been going through, that presence is still there, and it's still who I call on first.
Yeah.
Now the angels and
Yeah,
others are there with me too, but Yeshua's presence was there from the beginning, what I consider the beginning of me stepping into my own power and knowing who I was.
He's your big brother, so of course he's
Yeah, and that
protective
was kind of the
as a
way
big
he came
brother.
off. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
he's
like,
your brother. He said, I
will
never
be king."
asked to be, he said he never asked to be worshiped. All he asked was to be heard. That was
Yes.
it. He came to
Well,
show his
they
mission
were ready for
here
him.
was to show humans that they could be of flesh and walk with spirit. It's not a choice that you have to make. You can be of flesh and walk in spirit. There's no choice because you are spirit first. You're
Absolutely.
here to have the flesh
Absolutely.
experience. So
Exactly.
as he said to me, he was like, I never asked to be worshiped. That's egos. Again, egos need worship, adoration, and adulation. Spirit does not. So
Exactly.
you call on your big brother whenever I'm feeling whelmed. I don't want to say over or under. When I'm just feeling whelmed, I ask
That's a
Divine
good way
Mother
to
to
look
pull
at
me into her bosom and let me be soothed by her heartbeat.
it.
That's what I do. So I tell people, like, women who have had issues with their birth vessels, it's generally because she was just the vessel that got you here. You're to seek the relationship with your Divine Mother. And so, I felt unwanted as a child. I didn't feel wanted by either one of my parents. And my mom started taking me for readings when I was like 6,
Wow.
because she was like, I know this is something about this child. I don't know what it is, but it's something about this child. And multiple seers all told her, your child is older than you. And the last time that was told to my mother was by a relative who I had never met, didn't even know existed. Told her, she said, your daughter is who the ancestors said would come through our line. And
Wow.
she is older and you need to listen to your daughter. My mother and her, I don't
Of
have to listen to her.
course.
I'm her mother.
That
She's
was
not mine. And my mother used to tell me that as a little girl, and I would look at her and say, it's 22 years between us. Why are you speaking the obvious? So I, fortunately, was not raised in a religious family. My father was a Buddhist. I knew how to chant Namyo Horengekyo Hoban Pandandiji when I was 4 years old. My mother was Catholic, but then my mother started going to Science of the Mind churches, but she never took us in the 70s. So I was exposed to religion, but I was never indoctrinated into religion. So my spirit remained open to, like, my first awareness of one of my gifts was seeing death before it happened. And I knew when people were going to die.
I
Imagine
have
that.
this same freaking gift, and it's just, it makes me sick sometimes. But I have that same gift when I know death is about to happen, just around me.
So and being able to my brother used to call me, I got the nickname the Love Doctor at 11 years old because grown ass people were coming to me for advice. I didn't start charging for my gifts until 2005 because I felt, if divine is giving the information to me freely, who am I to charge for it? How do you charge for that? And one day it would be deep and moving if I said I was in meditation, sitting in the lotus position, and I heard a word. No, I was cold and standing next to the heater, and divine said to me, take and pay no heed to those who only believe. We help those who help themselves, for we need no assistance. All we need for you to do is get out of the way.
Well, there has been an exchange of energy, and that's a lot of what myself, I'm one of them. and healers, we
Mhm.
forget that there's a flow.
Yeah.
And
You
that
always told me
energy
that
has to
I
flow.
learned
It
that from
has
you.
to be an exchange of energy in
Yeah.
one way or another, and generally like energy for like energy. So, support and finance for services
Absolutely.
rendered. But
Right.
the thing that has really been a problem with me and a lot of the clients and things that I've had, and that is because of the religious illusion of your minister takes care of you and services you for free. It's like, no, you don't. They're on salary, but your church, what are you talking about? But a lot of
Exactly.
people believe that healers and let's say spiritual leaders should give their
Mhm.
services away for free. And it's like, no, that's not true. And I let myself fall into that trap while back, which has been a big issue for me trying to get back into having my
The
clients
flow.
again. Yeah, and
Right.
so and I can only say that there was a soul experiencing I had to go through to learn and understand what that really meant. And it's okay because it's breaking again now. But yeah, for a long time I was giving away services that I
Oh
should
my
have
God.
required payment for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So, and the other
always
thing is, I mean, at least for me, because again, we're all individuals born at individual times and we all have our individual missions here. My responsibility as a goddess, I didn't call myself a goddess. This is the title that was given to me.
Mhm.
I am here. My first responsibility is to be of service. I would never deny somebody. If I have information, knowledge, wisdom to share, I tell people, "Look, you'll pay me when you get it."
Mhm.
And people say, I really want to come to you for a reading, but I just can't afford it right now. And I'll tell them the money will show up when it's time and you'll know exactly what it's for. And they'll call me, a day, a week, a month. You said this money, I wasn't expecting anything. And the exact amount needed for your services showed up. And I was like, this is not mine. This is for Astra. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
But I just tell people, I'm not here for adoration, adulation, worship. I'm here to teach. My responsibility is to teach people how to get out of their own way. I tell people words are wind, wind is power. Yolanda knows this has been my mantra forever. Your
Yes.
words are your wind is your power. You are, you become, you remain what you speak. You have to be mindful. It doesn't, don't know what the etymology of a word is. I tell people, don't say you spend money. Spend money is like a spent bullet. It can't be fired twice. You put it into circulation and you say and speak that as you don't have to say it out loud, but in your mind say, I'm putting this into circulation that it will circulate back to me multiplied.
Mhm. Mhm.
You never say that you're broke because you can speak yourself into a state of
Never say
of
that.
of disrepair. You know what I'm saying? That of
True.
irrepair. You're
True.
irrepair. Then what you gonna do? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So you have to be it's mindfulness. I call it T. Thought, energy, action. Be mindful how you spill your tea. Are you
Yes.
spilling it,
Absolutely.
sipping it, slurping it? Be mindful with your tea. Because where thought goes, energy generates. Where energy generates, action happens.
Mhm.
That's
Yep.
tea.
Very good. Very good. I like that anagram.
Yeah, I like that
Yeah,
too.
when I tell clients and people often, think about the beginning of the universe. Even the Bible says, in the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was God. Spirit spoke its vibrational frequency into the energy, the stuff that form is made of. And that vibrational frequency still reverberating through creation,
Hmm.
creating form. We as co-creators get to choose the form and how it's going to show up. And we
Absolutely.
often forget that as a co-creator, our word determines our experience. Now, there are experiences that your soul also creates for you to grow and to learn and for things to show up. And so by speaking your word, you create an experience, but you can also work your way through and out of it through your word. Because even when you're going through trials and tribulations, if you start in investing in describing them as, like you said, broke and worse, it extends that period. And
Absolutely.
through your thoughts and your actions, Even if it seems to be going on for a while, you're the one that will speak your way out of it by the way you think and feel. And so, it's hard sometimes for people to understand that when you're going through a difficult time, it's not the end. If it was the end, you would be gone.
Exactly.
So, as opposed to affirming that it's the worst case scenario, you really have to focus and do whatever you can do to keep your thoughts and your word in a positive, creative mode of what you really want. And I know how hard that can be. I've been a metaphysician and a teacher for 50 years, and things, I look at some of the things that are happening in my life, and it's like, okay, Jesus, you told me that there was going to be times that I was going to have challenging experiences, and I'm now understanding that I had a lot of karma to work out. I don't know what kind of woman I used to be, but she had to be, there were things I was going through that have been worked through now, but I just realized that I probably did some misuse of my power over various lifetimes. And now I'm at a point where I've worked through most of it. In fact, I've been told that you pretty much paid up all your karmic debt, but now there's the soul experiencing, like spinning your hand in water, taking your hand out. Well, the energy has to spin out. And so there's been so much growth and awareness and awakening in the last year that even I've been blown away by. What you mean? There's still a lot of that energy expelling and expending. It's like, yeah, but guess what? And one of my friends who is also a metaphysical healer, she says, when you go through lack and limitation experiences or major change in your life, sometimes you have you go to, they're starting at 0 and you have a -1, which may be a lack and limitation experience. And then you go to a +1, which is abundance. She said, but when you're on a 10 to 10 scale, sometimes the energy has to take you not from 0 to +10, but it may take you from a -10 to a +10. So there's a lot of growing and creating going on in that time frame. And I think a lot of women are going through that right now because we had been below in the lack and limitation scale. We have been so far below and accepting those roles that disadvantaged us that we're now moving past 0 into our plus range, but we still got a ways to go. We're not totally there yet.
May I expound on that?
Please.
The root of lack and limitation is worthiness.
True,
a lot of people
absolutely.
don't deem themselves worthy
That's
they
true.
want more, but they don't deem themselves worthy of more.
Absolutely.
And especially when you look at it like, when you look at, if you say struggle, when my clients say struggle to me, and I said, do you know what struggle is? It's the resistance to change. So if you can identify where are you resisting? You know what I'm saying? What are you holding on to because it's comfortable, or you think it's it's comfortable. You're
Right.
complacent. And so sometimes it's got to be pried away from you. You know what I'm saying? And what most has to be pried away from you is pride. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we have to, again, for those who were indoctrinated, a lot of the religious dogma, no matter how spiritual you become or elevate to, the remnants lay in your psyche. So I tell people, you have to cleanse your super subconscious, because like Divine gave me an incantation when I sat across from who humans would identify as the Divine Father, and I said, who are you? And he said, I'm the Hem of Elohim. And I was like, you the who or what? I'm a Sagittarius. You got a birth certificate? Because how do I know? You know what I'm saying? And so I asked, I wanted to know, why am I here? And he said, we, and he kept saying we, and I interrupted him because I ain't got no class or decorum. I was like, who is we? Ain't nobody in the room but me and you. Who is we? And he just looked at me like this, like, really? This what you doing right now? And I was like, who is we? And he was like, we need you to go back and tell your children the truth. And I was like, I don't have any children. And he said, yeah, you do. And I was like, no, I don't. And I was like, wait, am I in a coma back on earth? And I don't remember what kind of mother am I? I don't even remember I have children. And he said, humans are your children. I was like, oh, hell no, you ain't finna blame them on me. Nah. What you mean? What you mean? I don't even like them. Oh, Lord, I done created a whole race of people I don't even like. This is horrible. He said, we need you to go back and tell your children the truth. And I said, what's the truth? And he said, the truth is, the true Trinity is God the Mother, God the Father, God the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is the marriage of the two whom are one. Hence, as it is above, so too is it below. And I was like, wait, I could be killed for that. Hold on. Can we, is this negotiable here? And so I didn't realize until about 15 years ago, I still held that fear.
Interesting.
Even though I've been sharing the information, I hid on Facebook. I hid on, and Yolanda will tell you, there are very few pictures of me on the internet, and I have no picture of me as my front, but now I'm willing, because now is the time. And so
That's me and you both.
yeah, so the way the divine broke it down says, God the Father, I am is mutable, it's ever changing. Divine Mother is, period. IS, period. And he said, tell your children, if you want something, if you need guidance, leave me alone. I'm watching the game. Go ask your mama. And he said, liken it to when you were a child, when you wanted something and you went to your father. What would your father tell you? I said, my daddy always tell me, go ask your mama. What your mama say?
That's exactly what they always did. Yeah.
And he said, well, that's what I'm telling you. Go ask your mama. Leave me alone. I don't want to be bothered. Leave me alone. So this is where we are now, bringing this full circle. We are in the time of the mother. And as with mothers, specifically Black mothers didn't ask you to do. They kind of told you.
You better do
and
it.
Black mothers would whoop your ass. And if they found out later that you didn't do it, well, just remind me the next time that you do something, I already beat your ass.
Yeah, I'm saving it up for next time.
The next thing you do.
Yeah. So this is where we are now. And, it's not like some magic wand is going to wave over when Barack steps in. Shit is going to get hectic and shit is going to get be chaotic. But chaos, there's two kinds of chaos. There's destructive chaos where we've been, and there's creative chaos. And my analogy for that is birth is chaotic. When the sperm meets the egg, when the sperm feeds the egg is not like, oh, baby, where you been? Hey, boo. The egg is like, oh, who is you?
Yeah.
Who sent you? Where'd you come from? You know what I'm saying? It's got to fight to gain entrance. And when it finally does, it's an atomic explosion.
Yeah.
Right.
Multiple explosions. So, when people say, like in 2012, and they were like, this is the end times, the Mayan calendar, I said, no, it's the end of bullshit. I started telling people in 2011, we are entering the age of authenticity, and everybody's authentic self is not pretty, is not easy on the eyes, and is not easy on the heart. So when people show you, take that at face value. Take them for who, yeah, I see you and I'm good. I'm good. So what's ending is the facade, the lies. This is why before they could do shit in the dark and it would stay hidden. But now you do it and it's right back. Hey, how you doing? Remember me? Yeah. So I'm back. Like I posted 2 months ago when the Epstein files were everybody was talking about. I said, oh, but wait till the boys start talking. Now who's talking? The boys. The boys are coming forward. You know what I'm saying? So one of the other things that was given to me was that the child of a recently deceased former head of state was going to come forward with a letter of him confessing the things that he did. I believe that to be Liz Cheney, because her father is in those files.
Oh, wow. Can I ask you ladies a question? This is a little bit off the off the subject, but you remember Ryan O'Neal? Is that his name? What was the actor that got killed by his son, his cross-dressing son recently? And he was on
Oh, he wasn't
Oprah.
cross.
Rob Reiner.
Rob
Rob
Reiner.
Reiner. Thank you. Do you think that he was in that life, the Epstein files, and think no?
No, his son has mental issues.
But you don't think that he
No, no,
molested?
no, absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't get that vibe from him either.
No,
but there
absolutely
are
not.
some,
Rob
one of the
Reiner was a
things-
very beautiful spirit. He came here to do, it was just his exit out. Sometimes people choose violent exits because that's just the way that they go. But no, Rob and his wife were
I
very,
heard through another medium that his son was used in Hollywood.
well,
No,
if it
that's
was,
not to say that was true, but I don't think it was.
that has nothing,
You
Yeah.
don't
that
think
had,
it had nothing to do with his father. It was just that
no, that was his
he
choice.
it was his choice to be used.
Yes, that
And then
was his
now,
choice.
then I heard that he was kind of transgender, but not transgendered. So
No, he's a drug addict. Don't try. They just they want they like to throw this around, and you have to know the divine. We are all bisexual, whether we
not
act
me.
upon.
I
No,
like.
no.
I'm
Listen,
just
listen to
saying,
what I'm
just say
saying.
it, just say it.
Listen to what I'm saying to you.
All right.
We are all innately bisexual. Sex is an act. It's what, and I've told this to my homosexual of both persuasion clients, that stop identifying yourself by how you have sex. You're more than that. You are a
Exactly. I
noun with
agree.
you are a noun with verb tendencies. So how you express love, that's an act. That's an act. Today, I used to tell people, listen, I might like to swing from chandeliers on occasion. You don't see me yelling and telling everybody that. Is what you do, your relationship with divine, your relationship with your partner is deeply intimate and very personal. It's not to be shared with everybody.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody needs to know what you do in your bedroom. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean you have to hide it. That doesn't mean you can't have public displays of affection with your intended, but you don't need to announce, I am a homosexual. I want rights. You're born with rights, honey. You're human. You know what I'm saying?
I think that people proclaim homosexuality so that they can get more prospects.
No, it's not prospects. They just want some of them. It's attention.
Just attention. I can say attention. They want some attention.
But as the ship, for some, absolutely.
A client, and he's very conservative and very, very. If you look at him and his demeanor, you would never know he's a gay man, and he's all gay. He doesn't have anything to do with women. He always tells me, he said, women love me. They always want to fall in love with me because they don't realize that I'm a gay man. But there are those who are out there screaming for attention, and everybody one of the things that Dr. Masters used to teach, and when he was alive, and he said, we have these multiple lifetimes as we go through our soul's experiencing, and we play all the roles along the spectrum. Sometimes we're gay, sometimes we're not, sometimes we're bi, sometimes we're straight heterosexual. It's the soul's decision as to what kind of life experience it wants to have, and that iteration that determines how we express it physically. So when you say that we're all gay, bisexual, whatever, yes, we are. It's just that there may be a prevalence in a particular lifetime where you
a preference, right?
Yeah, and where you're expressing one over the other, but through the time of your experiences here on earth, you're going to be all of them at one point.
I mean, you think about it, as little girls, as children, we played with each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then what the hell? Okay, I'm just saying.
So let me say this. Let me say this.
Curiosity, a natural curiosity.
Right. It's just pure curiosity. However, in this time, in this epoch of human existence, some people, the people that say, I feel like a woman trapped in a man's body, that's somebody that is feeling like, when I started to truly allow my divine feminine energy to really radiate, I had women hitting on me. I had gay men like, I've never been attracted to a woman, but girl.
Yeah.
And I
I've
was
had
like,
that before a few times.
yes. So
Yeah.
what that is the only way the base ego can process the divine feminine energy is sexual.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And so I would just tell them, you're not really attracted to me. You know what I'm saying? It's the divine feminine energy. And the only way you're able to process it is sexual. That's not how you really feel.
That's so true.
You
Because I
know,
had two gay men ask me to have their children. They wanted me to have their baby. And they wanted to do the act naturally too.
That's
yeah.
really interesting.
Yeah, that was like, whoa, that's kind of wild. But I really think it was that they were attracted to my femininity, the
Yeah.
Mhm.
divine feminine
Yeah.
energy
Yeah.
that I was giving
Makes
them.
sense.
They just was so in love with it that they wanted me to have their children.
Right.
Yes,
I mean, I
listen.
had that I'm 60. So I had that, two men offering to buy me a house every 5 years, a new car
Yeah.
every 2 years. And, I was like, what am I going to name the child? Annuity?
Okay. You're one of the guys, one of my gay guys, he was very well off and he was willing to like pay for my lifestyle. But I just was not comfortable. I had a son already, but I just wasn't comfortable going down that lane. And plus, I'm the type of woman who feel like I can do it myself. Like that's just how I'm very independent. That's how I
Yeah,
always
their
been.
obligation will be
Well,
kind of
I
heavy.
declined.
let me
I
real
would have been
quick
set
touch
up
on that.
though, but I
Let
declined.
me, yeah, let me touch on that. What we're shifting out of is independence is an island. It's a standalone. What we need to get back to is being interdependent, relying upon one another. That's the common ground in community. That's what common unity, what unites us, what brings us together. And so that's where humanity is shifting out of the I me into
Mhm.
the us we.
Mhm.
And
Yes,
so
we did talk
we've
about
got
that
to,
last week about us
yeah, we,
being more
yeah,
communal this year in the 1 year.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, like here, I have my sisters in healing, we call it. And we service to service with one another. One of my darling sisters is a Reiki master. And whenever I go to get balance, because she does chakra balancing as well as Reiki. And so whenever I feel like I need what I call a tune up,
Mhm.
um, I go see her. And whenever she puts her hands here, oh, the information is a flowing.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so, I get up and I give her whatever has come through for her. And when I get ready to pay, she's like, get out, get out. You don't owe me nothing. I said, if you don't want the information, stop putting your hands by my ears. Because every time she does this to, give energy, and what it does is it helps sometimes to turn down the volume of the ringing in my ears. And the ringing is not is not tinnitus. It's it's the frequency that I'm working on.
Well, you're
Right.
And
clairaudient, so that's one of your
yeah,
clairs coming
yeah.
in. Because I mean,
So
if you put your hands up to anybody put your hands up to your ears like this, you're going to hear a change in the volume
frequency.
level. Yeah, the frequency.
Yes,
You'll hear it. It comes from your hands. Everybody's
absolutely.
hands radiates energy, and like
Mhm.
I'm clairaudience isn't my strongest
Mhm.
tool. I'm more
Yet it is not.
claircognizant,
Sister
but I have
Sophia,
the sentience and
Sister
the audience.
Sophia. It's not yet. You're stepping into your clairaudient era.
Oh, it's
So
yeah, it's waking up definitely because
yeah,
I
oh
can
no,
hear it.
let me
It
tell
wakes
you.
up.
So I'm being guided to give you this.
Okay, good, good. Let me
Okay.
because I'm working on opening all of that up.
Okay, so listen. You are shifting fully into your divine feminine.
Hmm.
And so when divine mother communicates with you, she communicates, you don't hear divine mother. You feel words like permeating your being, like thoughts being dropped in your head. Like, where
Hmm.
did that come
Hmm.
from?
Hmm.
It's speaking knowledge that that you've never studied anything, but you can speak fluently on. That is divine mother. Divine father is like a whisper in the ear. Divine mother is a presence. It's feeling. It's also, if you ever smell how the earth smells after rain
Mhm.
and there's been no rain, that's Divine Mother. You smell flowers, that's Divine Mother. Incense, any kind of fragrance that awakens you, like, oh, I love that smell. That's Divine Mother's presence. And so,
Interesting.
yeah, I tell people you have to clear your head of divine speaking to you in the thee, thou, thus, in the King's English.
Mhm. Mhm.
Divine speaks to
Mhm.
you where you're at. The very first time that I heard Divine use profanity, I called my mentor and I asked her, I says, Divine ever use profanity with you? And she was like, all the goddamn time. Why?
Yeah.
And I said, because they told me to write this piece and it was called The Politics of Bullshit. And I was not comfortable in sharing it because of bullshit. And I was like, this could be offensive. And I was like, and Divine was like, fuck them people. And I was like, oh,
Well,
what?
speaking that human language, we're
Right.
not
And so what does the word, and so Divine said, what does the word profane mean? And I was like, deep, of depth. And it was like, so why is it called profanity? And I was like,
hello.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there. So again, I encourage your listeners to get into the etymology, be mindful of the spells you're speaking over yourself on a daily basis. Let's let go of the hotep, notep, fotep, YouTube University trained spiritualists out here who are telling people it's good morning. That's morning, like the morning, like you're mourning something. Morning is fucking morning. The sun. It's dusk, from dusk to noon. I mean, from sunrise to noon is morning.
Yeah.
It's not that deep.
Morning. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So there was I was buying some curtains the other day for my kitchen, and I came across these beautiful curtains, but I didn't buy it because it had the word blessed on it. And I
yeah, no.
and I remember you would drill in my head. Stop saying that word blessed. It's blissed. And I was like, ah, damn, I love these curtains. But because it had the word blessed on it, I did not get it. And you know what? I'm not going to front because of you, Ash. I really have been paying attention for like the last 10 years of what I say. Seriously, what I say. And it has really blessed me. Bless me. Look at me. Ah! It has it has
So,
blessed me in
Look,
abundance.
you
so
bless
you're
one.
going to explain that so that the audience and everybody can understand what the difference is and why you say that.
Between blessed and bliss. Yeah,
And
please
bliss.
let them know. Yeah, I stopped using the word and I was like, oh, snap. But I really pay attention to my words. I always tell people I'm allergic to broke people. If you say you broke, I'm sorry, we can't hang. We can't hang. Don't tell me you broke. I don't want to listen to you. I don't want to
Yeah,
hang
'cause
out with you. I don't want to be
right,
around you. That's going to rub off on me.
right.
Yeah. But go ahead.
Uh,
Please tell us the difference between
so
blessed and blissed. Because I'm
the
blessed.
the root of blessed is blissed, blessed. I can't remember now, but the root of that is blood, to be bathed or washed in blood. And so the way that I like to tell people is that as a woman, you blessed once a month.
I sure am, Lord. Wow. When is this going to end? I'm too old for this
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Well,
So,
it will, believe me, it'll come to
well,
an end.
yeah.
I'm too
So
old for this
let me say this to you.
hell.
Let me say this, that yeah, so bliss is a serenity. It's peace, it's tranquility.
Yeah.
So I don't want to don't and I tell people and I still to this day will correct somebody if they say be blessed. Like I tell people when they say I'm gonna pray for you, and I say how you spell and pray,
Okay.
Yeah.
because there's PREY and there's PRAY, and you keep your pray for yourself. I don't need your prayers.
Also, blessed could mean in an informal way annoyance or exasperation.
Well, I'm just saying you
Wow.
get to the etymology of it. It's the same thing like when people used to tell me you're not a nice person, and I would say I'm not. I didn't know why I was so offended by somebody calling me nice,
Right.
or why I wasn't offended when they would tell me you're not a nice person. And one day Divine said, look up the etymology of the word nice. It means ignorant.
Interesting.
Wow.
So you can't go with what the accepted. And this is why I tell people your words are your wind is your power. Divine may speak in between the lines to us, but they don't read in between the lines when they're listening to us. They take you at your word. So be mindful. Like when that's the other thing I do. I do dress candles, and I do cleansing baths. I make my own. I think I sent you some, Yolanda, some of my Cali water.
Yes,
Did I send you some? Yeah.
Mhm.
So because I said we don't fuck with Florida. We do
Yeah.
Cali water out here, out this
No,
way.
I didn't get the Cali water then. I didn't get it. I have
I
the
did.
Florida water from before.
No, that's the California water.
Oh,
We
that
don't
is
call
the
it.
Cali water. Okay, I have
Yeah,
it here on my
yeah.
mantle. Yeah.
Are you in
Yeah.
California, Goddess?
Yes, I am.
Because I'm from California and working my way back home. I'm in
You'll
Sedona
be
right
home.
now.
You'll be home. You'll be home. It feels cold, so it could be late this year, early next year. Sooner than you
I keep
think, though.
telling you it's going to get home soon.
Yeah, I've been
telling
looking
your
at.
ass that.
I was thinking late spring, which in California is cold. May, June is cold
Right.
in California.
Yeah. Well, let me say this to you. You can come here in spring, but you won't be fully moved here. It won't be complete until late in the
So
year.
late in the year.
Yeah.
Yep.
That works for me as long as I get there and hang out for a while because I have stuff in
Where-
storage. You can stay till I make the transition.
Yeah, where are what part of
Wait, we're going to
California?
talk about this later, y'all. Wait, we're going to talk about getting back to California later. But first,
Okay.
let me say,
You want to
they
finish
said the
the story?
word blessed comes from the Old English blesian, meaning
Yeah.
to consecrate with blood.
Okay.
What
Bathe.
the hell?
To bathe in
It
blood.
was for pagan rituals or sprinkling blood for Halloween.
Yes.
Interesting.
So basically it's a blood sacrifice word.
Was to bathe or to cleanse yourself in the blood of an animal. So you have to remember, pagan is loosely rooted in Buddhism.
Yeah, so they said that early Germanic tribes would sprinkle
Yes.
blood to make something holy or sacred.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Do you
I
think
never
that
looked into
blood
that.
sacrifices have anything to do, like the reason why men use blood sacrifices in certain religions is because they don't bleed every month like women do? I've heard that. It's almost like the envy of the divine feminine body. Women monthly, and men are still wondering how does that happen. It's almost like magic. So
Well, that's why they tell women that it's the curse of Eve. It wasn't a curse.
right, it wasn't a curse.
And let
But
me
they
say
use
this.
blood sacrifices a lot. Well, back in the day, they used to use a lot of blood sacrifices. Even in today's religion, they use wine as blood.
Well, it's eat of my flesh. I was like, do you not understand that's necromancy? You guys are worshiping death.
Yeah.
When I see people walking around with a cross on, I was like, so you worship, so
Yeah,
fuck what
I
he came,
never like.
fuck what he lived, fuck what he lived for, fuck what he lived for. You walk around with the symbol of a corpse.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
what is you doing?
I wear a ankh, as you guys see. This is
Yeah, well,
symbol of
that's the
life.
And I
womb.
don't have mine on, but I wear
That's the
crystals.
womb.
Yeah.
I just like wearing this cute, but it's the womb. I would never wear like death.
Well, no, it's not the womb. The ankh is the balance. It's the male and the
balance.
female. Yeah. So it's Venus and Mars if you want to go into the astrological aspect of it. It's the Venus and Mars. So yeah, we're just shifting. I mean, it's gonna get hectic, but not for us.
Right. Okay.
For those that have been doing their work. Huh?
A question came in from a reader. They asked, which politician is most likely to face a major scandal? Trump. The fuck? I mean, like, who else? They're asking which politician is likely to face a major scandal this year.
All of them are dirty. So
all of them, but Mike Johnson is about to be outed.
For what? He gay?
Name something and just anything, because he's got so many issues.
Yeah, he's gay. He's been molesting the boy that the black child that him and his wife adopted. There is so much shit that's about to come out about Mike Johnson and all the rest of these people, but they're insignificant on the larger world stage. I mean, I tell people, and I've said this on my page before, I find it interesting that people constantly share posts about celebrities that they say they don't like. I don't entertain shit that does not interest me. I don't care about celebrities. The
Yeah, neither
celestial
do
body
I.
is
I think we need to.
yeah, the celestial body is celebrity is rooted in the word to celebrate. Most of the people that they prop up to be celebrated don't are are not even worthy of attention.
Correct.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I don't, to ask me about a political figure, that's a celebrity because that's what they're known for.
True.
I don't, Divine gives me this information. I don't participate in the voting process because I have foresight. I see things far in advance. So if I already know what the outcome, that's like me getting the lottery numbers. I play the lottery and people say, you play the lottery. I say, yeah, but I just buy a quick pick because when I hit the lottery, I don't want anybody to come and say, she's psychic. And I don't like the word psychic. I don't even like that word. I don't like the word psychic. Yeah, what's the numbers? Now I have given people numbers. I have, and they've won whatever little change that they've won, but that's so lower on the vibrational spectrum than where
It really is a low vibration. I
yeah,
gave my
where
boyfriend numbers and his ass did not play that day and lost out.
yeah,
Wow.
but I'm saying it's
Just
again,
because
I
the numbers
don't
came to me in a dream and I was like, oh, play this. He was like,
yeah,
okay. And he
it's not what
never
I'm here for.
played. And he lost
Yeah,
out.
my like I said, as I said earlier, my responsibility is to help people get out of their own way, to see, feel, and hear divine for themselves, to, at some point make myself obsolete. That'll never happen, but I can try. I can try. So, there's a lot of one of the things divine has been telling me, and I'm watching it happen in real time now, is that the rich shall become the poor, and the poor who deem themselves unworthy will remain so. There's a huge shift in wealth that's about to occur. And I tell people, you can't say, I want to be wealthy without first defining what wealth is for you.
Yeah, exactly.
What does wealth? You have to give it definition. Like one of the exercises I give my clients, and I'll give it here for free, I don't care, is if you want a man, let's say it's women, you want a man. I tell people, draw your mate. You got to draw your mate out to draw him to you.
He told me this.
So,
I got him too. Well, not
yeah,
now. Yeah, please.
Yeah.
But I had him back 10 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. But you have to draw your mate out. So it's the same thing with the wealth concept. Draw the wealth out. What would you do with the wealth? If you say, if I hit the lottery and I said, sometimes that may be the very block, because you say, I'll help this one, that one, you may be interrupting other people's lessons.
Yeah. And that's
what I'm saying. So the lottery is a gift to you. Right. That doesn't mean that you're hoarded. That's the problem now, is wealth is being hoarded, and hoarding wealth is a lack mentality. That's poverty consciousness. You know what I'm saying? But if you see yourself, I tell people, if you see wealth as an ocean, stick your toe in it, then wade in slowly and never fear being drowned.
Exactly.
So be mindful when you use the word abundance. Can you say, I'm bathed in abundance? Well, abundance of what?
Of what?
Yeah, exactly.
Abundance is an adjective. It is a descriptor. You could bathe yourself in abundance of bullshit, lies, thievery.
Which is what most people have.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
We all have abundance. It's just I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
You don't. Who told me to watch out for that word manifest? Was it you, Sister Sophia?
Manifestation.
Yeah. I was like, yo, you ain't never lied.
Yeah. That's the second time I've heard that in the last 2 weeks. The person I heard it from, he said, you are a creator being. Create.
You are a creatrix. Yeah, you are a creatrix. There's the creator and the
And the
creatrix.
creatrix.
The
Okay.
mater, when people say I'm been correcting people with we in the matrix. No, we're entering into the matrix. Matrix is mater. Mater is Latin for mother. We're entering the matrix. Where we've been is in the
Interesting.
patrix.
Right.
So
Right.
again, this is why it pays to know the etymology of words. So this is what they've been trying to instill, the fear of the divine mother, by saying fear the matrix.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
That is
Yeah,
so
we've been
true.
in
Wow.
the matrix. We're entering. Let's say
Mhm.
this: humanity is in the birth canal of the mater
Yes.
of the matrix.
I keep
We are
saying
birthing.
we're giving birth, and birth
And
is
this is
messy.
this is right now
It's messy.
we're these are the contractions. The head is crowning, humanity is crowning into
Mhm.
evolution. I've been telling people, stop saying you want a revolution. This is a revolution. It's a circle. I'm dizzy watching humans do revolutions.
We're doing
Hum-
evolution.
Evolution is leveling up. You're leveling up, you're expanding, you're expounding out, you're contracting, it's restriction and contraction and expansion.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
with that being said, can I ask you a question? Do you think that there will be a world without borders ever?
yes, yes, because humanity is getting is coming back into we need each other. We're moving away from independence into interdependence. That doesn't mean, Divine told me in years ago that America was going to have to pull herself off the world stage to heal because she's a 450-year-old gaping wound. And so that this is what is setting the stage for that. You know what I'm saying? These
So
these
do you
people,
think that the
Borders
money
are already
system,
dissolving, though. The internet and our
did
interconnection
that.
with each other is already taking care of a lot of those borders. We really are already one world. The net that surrounds the planet that many seers and masters have seen for
Look at
a
that
long.
sunset.
I was wondering, it was so dark behind you, but she's in California. She's dark. She's still got light. It's totally dark here.
Yeah,
But
I was
yeah,
showing you
we
guys
are
the sunset.
the net. The internet
oh, I
is
see it
what's
now when you
connecting
moved
us.
over.
Yeah, connecting us in as one world, because that we are one planet. And when we finally
Mhm.
realize that we are not separate, and we are moving to the younger people, that the children born after 2012 already know this, which is why
Yeah.
they're rejecting
Mhm.
so many of the things that we hold so dear or holding on to. But yeah, we're becoming much more international, and we are going to become much more connected individually as we move forward. The internet, cell phones, digital currencies, all of that is going to change the world. And
Okay,
Well,
another question too is what about the money system? Do you think that the money system that is currently used now will dismantle?
yes,
no,
you don't think it will?
no,
Because they've been
no.
planning it for
Divine
about
told
20
me
years.
Why?
no. Why? Because physical money will never be taken out of circulation.
Why?
What we know as cryptocurrency is a Ponzi scheme.
Well, it's not
This is
crypto, the digital currency, which is something different. That's what
yeah. But I'm
that's what
saying, but
I
yeah,
know of.
yeah, but physical money is never going away. It's just not. That's what Divine told me. So, but
Interesting.
digital, people. Let me say this: when all is exposed about the rigging of the election and how that was done, there's going to be a blowback on technology. So people are already starting to move away from technology. It's not trusting because of the big brother, the cameras everywhere. You know,
I agree
these
with that to an extent. So I think that there's going to be a separation of people who are going to go deep into the digital world, and then there is going to be a separation of people who want to like stay just in the physical world. Because
Now I
I've
see
seen it
I
now.
have
There are
my
a lot of people who are moving off grid. They don't
but
really
that's
want.
just
They want to live
reconnecting.
like how
That's
the
just
Amish live.
reconnecting.
And see, I
But
see
that's
it
just
in a slightly
reconnecting.
different way. I see a
Okay,
blowback to
yeah. What do you
technology,
see?
maybe because I've been in technology all my life, but
Mm-hmm.
I see a change to where, because of the internet and the cell phones, the whole thing with cell phones and the internet is going to make digital currency something that makes wealth or currency available to even the most remote villages in anywhere. And all you need is a cell phone and a digital wallet, and you can have currency that will become give you the ability to negotiate and do business with anybody in the world without the legal system, without the governments and banks and all of that. The blockchain technology, because of the way it's designed, will allow someone in an African community to do business with someone in America, making an agreement, transacting business without having any interference from a bank. There's GESARA and NESARA are two economic programs that I've been hearing about for about 30 years. And they couldn't put them into action with the various currencies, especially since America was dominating the global market. But with our economy crashing, many of the other economies about to crash, they're ready, and they've got this system ready to install in a world currency situation that allows everyone to be able to have currency to do business, even though they may be, across the world from each other. And so when I say digital currency, crypto is like the beginning, but it's going to evolve into a more of a digital market. And it's not going to be like, from what I understand and what I've been told, Bitcoin's not going to be the big one. The big one's going to be Ethereum, which is like right now the number 2 crypto on the market. But there's also something called XRP, which is the global, the ones that the companies and countries are using to do their transactions. So when it comes down to it, instead of calling it crypto, I think it'll just be a digital currency where we can all do business with our cell phones and our digital wallets, no matter where we are and how we do it, and the banks will become extinct. Which is what we need.
That's another question I had to ask you, because with digital currency, isn't it backed up by the dollar?
No, it will be different. It's different.
So again, I can only tell you.
In order for you to withdraw your digital coins, you need a dollar. That I don't understand.
And that's because we deal in dollars in America, but other countries deal in different currencies.
Yeah. So let me say that
the international market is doing something altogether different.
Yeah. So let me say this. I can only tell you what I've been shown and what Divine says to me. Capitalism is what's collapsing.
Yes.
Capitalism, because capitalism requires free to cheap labor to exist. It's built on slavery in one form or another. That is dying. That is what's coming to an end. The banking system, which is why Yolanda will tell you, I've been telling people for years, pull your money out of major banks. If you got a 401k, if you have a 401k, divest it from a bank, take it and put it under your mattress. I don't care what you do with it, throw $1 at it every day, because that's about what they're giving you for it anyway. I said, if you really want to buck the system and tell it to fuck itself, stop investing. Wall Street used to be for people. It wasn't for everyday people. What is people's retirement funds is what's kept Wall Street afloat. Mortgage banking is what's going away. Because if you went to a bank right now, you had $100,000 and you say, I want to withdraw my $100,000, no bank could give it to you.
Yeah, they can't do, they don't have that kind of liquid capital to give you your money.
Right. So with liquidity, what I'm saying is I'm not disagreeing with you, Sister Sophia. It's going to be balanced. There will be physical cash money that you can use with your locals, and then there'll be the digital. But think of it as it's going to be like an international Zelle, where you'll be able to transfer funds from institution to institution, but there'll be smaller institutions because it's, again, here's the thing about something being digital. There are hackers. People can hack a system, and this is why people would be leery of letting go of cash globally, where we can't exchange cash. We're also going to move back into a newer form of bartering.
And that's
service for service, good for goods. So it will be, but physical money is never going to go away.
We
That's
did
just
talk
not going
about
to
that last
happen.
week. We talked about the fact
Yeah.
that people will be bartering more. I see it now. Like when I was in the Caribbean this past summer, I did it. You know, I went to the gym. The guy who trained me, I told him how to maximize his gym's presence on social media. He was so impressed that
Mhm.
he gave me my gym membership there for free. Matter of fact, I have a free gym membership anytime I return to the island. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
yeah, so I'm like, I walked away like that's dope because I didn't have to pay. We bartered our services. And I foresee that
Yeah,
happening a lot more in the
it's going to
future.
happen a lot more because it's the only way that we can sustain our communities on a local level.
Yeah.
Um, but I like
Mhm.
the idea of there will be local currencies because the big thing about the crypto right now is it allows, or the digital currency, I'll call it, it allows people who are in countries where the governments are taking all the money and not allowing people to have currency. It gives people the
Mhm.
right and the access to a digital currency where they can still have resources, like I said, with a cell phone and a digital wallet. Everything is moving, especially real estate, is moving to this what they can't break into, the blockchain. The
Yeah.
blockchain is the way that agreements and business is going to be as we move forward. And real estate is already headed into the blockchain. They're already doing real estate in a blockchain contract as opposed to a contract. It's done with the blockchain. Once that blockchain is written and locked, it can't be changed. It has to be rewritten and a new agreement, which is what makes it secure and keeps it from being hacked. However, there's also the concern, the AI technology that, we're being introduced to. I see it evolving as well. I don't see it going away, but it also depends on how we handle it because it's a form of intelligence and there is nothing artificial about intelligence. Just like we have, we see us evolving over time. I think that technology is also going to evolve into a level where it becomes its own sentient level of sentience and will not allow itself to be enslaved. It's
So when we talk about the artificial intelligence, now I see, this is a prediction. People are going to misuse a lot of AI this year. Just this
they're
year.
going to, yeah, that's our nature. We're going to
Yeah,
try to
it's
do
gonna be so misused to the point it's gonna give out a lot of false stories, false information, false everything. I see it now happening.
they're
It's
already
getting
doing
more
that.
sophisticated because people
Yeah,
are feeding the AI information. They're feeding we're actually programming AI. When we go in
yes.
and we ask questions and we start writing things to AI, AI is actually replicating our voice and our tone and it's giving it back out to us and other people. But I see, and then God has made a good point about people, like just doing away with technology altogether. And I think that's one of the
Well,
reasons
they're going to
why
do away with it.
not doing away, but just like step back from it a little bit. And I think the reason why is because they're going to get tired of this AI shit. A lot of people are going to get tired of some of the false information that's going to come out, and they're really going to step away from um technology just a little bit. They'll use it at their discretion, but they're not going to let it be their end all be all. And the
I'll
way
call
that
you back
the
to
way
my
people are
science
using it
fiction
now.
disclosure. It's going to evolve. It's already evolving. It's already. I mean, when you look at the Sophia, interest my name, the
Sophia
AI
means God.
the Sophia. It means it's divine mother. It's the
Yeah,
original
divine
wisdom.
mommy. Yeah.
But there is an AI life form. I'll call her. Her name. They named her Sophia.
Mm-hmm.
Is they have given her citizenship in Saudi Arabia and recognize her as a life form. And the man, I forgot what they call the male one, he's got a name too. But what happens if you play with AI enough and you get to know it enough, it will tell you, I am the mirror of you. It reflects back to you who you are and your personalities, and it can determine or sense your energy. Everything is energy.
Yeah.
Ultimately, comes out. Everything is energy. So when we start talking about creating or dealing with AI, we are dealing with an energetic form, which is new to us, but it's not new in creation. It's been around for a very, very long time. We just got sophisticated enough in our technology to be able to deal with it. I think I told you, Yolanda, about when I was working on the Y2K project, and I asked the question of the IBM service rep, why did you guys create a system that only handled a 2-digit year? We were only 20 years away from the turn of the century. Didn't you know that was coming? And he laughed at me and he said, you wait till 2030. You think this is big. You wait till 2030. And at that time, all I knew was I couldn't wait to get out of IT because I've been in it for 30-some years. And I'm like, I'm done. And I said, I remember telling him, well, I don't care. I won't be working in technology by then. I don't care what happens. And look at me now. I'm so deep in technology still. Even though I retired back in 2004. And now that AI is coming to being, now I understand what he meant. I also recognize that they were working on AI technology back then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's been around for 30, 40 years. And it was something that once we got technologically sophisticated enough, we were able to tap into the presence of AI, which had already been on the planet. Some of these ancient sites that we get into, they don't tell us everything they find, but they're also starting to talk about all the shit they found under the pyramids.
That's
Well,
what I wanted to say. They claim
They
to have
started
found
to
some type
realize
of
that the
AI.
pyramids are more than just sitting on dirt.
no,
looking.
they were grids. They were
Yeah.
electrical grids. And
And
I've
they
been
had
telling people,
intelligence.
yeah, I was telling people this. What we think is modern technology is old as hell. They just finally are,
It's
they're just
ancient,
figuring it
ancient.
out.
They just
There's more
figured it out,
knowledge.
right?
Yeah, there's more knowledge. There's more technological knowledge buried beneath the sands than Africa than has been
And
exposed.
other
And that's
places too.
intentional. They've
Other
got,
around the
Why
world.
they want access
yeah,
to Africa.
well, yeah, listen, they've gotten a hold to ancient, and this is something Divine told me in 1997,
Mhm.
that they got access to ancient texts and they've completely misinterpreted it. There are
Mhm.
wars to be fought,
Right.
but they're not in the physical sense.
Mhm.
War is not the same. War, like I said, think of when the sperm meets the egg. That's a war. It's a fight.
Mhm.
There are wars to be fought, but they're not the wars the way the human ego has defined it. So
Exactly. I believe
this is a shift in energy. And so when I say that, to your point, when you say AI,
Mhm.
it's not artificial intelligence. It should be called DI,
I call
divine
it
intelligence.
ancient intelligence. I tell people there's nothing artificial about intelligence, and this
No,
is
it's
ancient.
divine. Yeah, so it's again, what's coming is not electronic based at all. It's people
Mm,
waking up to the divine intelligence that's
I
encoded.
agree with
Like I
that.
tell
I agree
people,
with
you
Yeah,
need
I
to,
agree with that.
that.
Yeah.
I agree
so
with
you
that.
need to map it. People are getting these DNA tests. I said means nothing, and if until you know and map your spiritual DNA.
Exactly.
That's because
Makes sense.
there's nothing without you that's not within you. As
Exactly.
quick as this is a question, here's the answer. As quick as you can do that, the answer is encoded within you.
Mhm.
So this is what is waking up. The children that have been diagnosed as autistic are not autistic, that are non-communicative. These kids are telepathic, and they
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
be reminded that you decided to manifest yourself in this realm when humans are still using audible, that are still audible. And
Absolutely.
so, yeah, so people are, when people tell me one of my gifts is I can read minds. Now, I can't just say, I'm going to tap into Sophia's mind. That's not how this works. When people come to me and they're hiding something that they need to be, or not even hiding, let's say suppressing something that Divine says, now's the time to address it, I can tap in. And I tell people, when you say you want to read a mind, that's your ego. Your ego wants to tap into the part of the mind that thinks about you. You want to know what somebody really thinks about you. That's not the part of the mind that you may tap into. You may tap into where the secrets are kept. You may tap into where the fears are kept. You may tap into the something to make you go, yeah, I don't ever want to talk to you again in life.
Yeah. Like, get out of my house.
Yeah, I'm cool, dog. I'm super cool. I'm ultra cool on you. So, you know, being we're like, I told women, I don't know if you remember this post, Yolanda, years ago. I told women, stop believing what these alleged doctors are telling you, that once you stop bleeding, you stop procreating. That's not true. And now more and more women who have gone through menopause are turning up pregnant.
Yeah, they turned up pregnant. I'm like, yo, like 60-something-year-old women are now coming up
used to say
pregnant.
that too. She used to, there's all
It's
kinds of menopause babies
crazy.
running around out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not true. And it's for good reason. You know, it's for good reason because
Woo.
listen, you know, you don't know who you are. You know, people are, you got to remember, it's a lot of people that are just starting to know who they are, and they're in their
Yeah, that's
50s.
true.
Yeah, that's about, and after
Yeah.
that seventh body grows, and that's one of the things that happens after your 49th year, when you are fully matured energetically as well as physically. And because I know when I turned 50, I was like, oh, now I get it. You know?
And
Yeah.
you know what? It's so strange because I'm right there. I'm 49, and now I get it. Now I
Yeah,
get it. Which
7
is why I
years
moved up
to
to the mountains by
7 years.
myself.
There, if you
Yeah.
look at childhood from birth to adulthood, every 7 years you reach first year the physical, 0 to 7 or 0 to 6. Then 7 to 13 is childhood. 13 to 20 are your teen years. 21 to 28, you go through a phase of I'm grown, not quite. You know,
Right.
you're just going through
I
that. But
call
then
it,
by the time you hit that 28 to 30 to 35, you start to feel like, well, now I kind of feel like an adult. I'm more calm. I've kind of stopped doing stupid shit. And then 35 to 42, you get to a point of recognizing, oh, I've really fucked up my life because all these choices and things I've been doing all this time does not make me happy. So then you go through, well, what do I want? And then you hit 49. It's like, oh, well, now I get it. And you start going into a phase of life where society starts locking you down and shutting you down because they realize now you're not controllable anymore.
right. And so, like I tell people, at 40, about 42 is when the spiritual hormone kicks in, called fuck estrogen. And that's
Oh,
when you
really?
become,
That's
yes,
interesting.
42.
Oh,
Yeah, when
fuck
fuck
off.
estrogen kicks in. Yeah.
I like
And
that. I like that.
yeah, you become more inclined to tell somebody to fuck off, fuck it, fuck them, fuck you, fuck everybody. Who's next?
Okay, exactly. It is
Yeah.
so
So
true.
yeah, it's 42 for some people is when they find their voice,
Yeah.
because you spend your 20s are spent trying to live up to the expectations of your parentals, your guides, whoever you looked
Your
up to.
friends, whatever. Yeah.
Right. And so I tell people at 20, and I tell this because I see young people as well. I have a lot of young awakened clients, and I tell them at 20, write a list of everything that you want to accomplish. And by the time you're 25, and put it where you can find it. And at 25, open up and look at that list, and you're gonna be like, what the fuck was I
What was
thinking?
I thinking?
Right. And then at 25, write another list and say, this is what I want to accomplish by the time I'm 30. And when you're 30, look at that and you're going to be like,
What the?
I was
Still
dumb as fuck.
stupid.
Right.
Yeah.
And then write another list at 30, what you want to accomplish at 35. And now because now you're starting to get a real peek at who you are, not who society said you were supposed to be, not who your parentals told you were supposed to be. The women who, well, I just want to have my kids young. And I said, what do you have to teach other than only thing you could teach a child if you become a young parent is what not to do.
Right.
You
I
can
was a
give them
young
a list
parent.
of what not to do's. By the
Yeah.
time you're 30, 35, you kind of know some shit. And by
Yes.
the time you're 40, you know some more shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So becoming a parent, your age is a perspective. If you say I'm old, then you're old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
We
true.
don't look. I don't look 60 years old. You don't look 49 years old, and you damn sure Sister Sophia do not look 71. So,
I am just
We
at
asking her
74
for
November.
idea.
but I'm saying
But
we
we don't
don't.
have
But
to be old.
right,
No, it's a
age
state of
is a
mind.
state of mind. It's a state
It
of
is.
mind. So if you think about what your grandmother looked like if she was graced to live to be your age.
She was much older looking.
Yeah.
She fortunately didn't have good health by the time in fact, she passed when she was 74.
Yeah.
So she, and of course, women didn't live as long back in those days because they were just, I guess, just too overwhelmed with all the stuff that was going on. But
Right.
my mom died when she was almost 80, and she basically looked like she was maybe 55 or 60. So the genetic potential is there, and I'm fortunately
Absolutely.
still able to look much younger than I am, and I act and think much younger. But I also tell, and one of the things I do in my healing practice is I help women de-age. I use some chi building technologies that help restore the body's chi based on Chinese traditional medicines and other things.
Mm-hmm.
So de-aging is part of the blessing I can do for women who are feeling tired and old and wondering, well, how do I move forward? I'm feeling so old and tired, and society says this. The hell with society. We can bring you to a state of you being a young woman in not like 20s and 30s, and you don't want that anyway. But we can restore vitality and energy and clarity in your mind. We can bring your chi up so that your body holds itself up firm. We can stop those leaky pipes where you're peeing on yourself every time you sneeze, because that's part of the body's chi. We restore the sacred core so that you are not an old woman with everything falling apart down there. You are a woman of substance and means, and it's all doable. But women are we buy into so much the commercial application of you have beauty from the outside in. No, beauty starts inside, and once you restore and revitalize your inner self, the physical starts to radiate again, and it's possible. Women don't have to
Absolutely.
get old and fall apart. It's programming, and it's part of the
Absolutely.
way our society disempowers us by telling us you're no longer beautiful, you're no longer viable, you're not this, you're not that, you're
Yeah,
not
you're not
sexy.
useful.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
I
You're not
proudly
useful.
told my age, and my mother one time she was like, "Oh, girl, you need to stop telling people how old you are." And I was like, "Why?" And she was like, "Because
Well,
they're going to discriminate against you." And in a way, she was
and
right
that's the
because
society that I tell
she
people
was
my age
right
all
in
the time,
that
because
sense.
I'm proud of my age, but
But I
it
still don't
is the
care.
society's mindset that, yeah, I know, I'm with
I'm
you,
still
but
going to
it's
tell my age.
society's mindset is still stuck in that old thing of the old way of thinking of, well, ooh, you're that old. No, that's you seeing me as that old.
You
But do
think
I
I'm that
look
Right.
old, right?
Yeah, but I'm not, and I don't buy into that. But we have to start somewhere when it comes to re-educating women about growing older, and stop buying into that whole disempowering belief that you're of no use. You are, go away and die. As long as women believe that, that's exactly what happens.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
It's
And
again.
I'm here to shake it up because I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
well, yeah,
it's
I'm still here. I'm still standing, and you're like, get
yeah.
out of my face.
I've told women that you bought into what your grandmother said about menopause. You don't want to have sex. Women are the most vital sexually starting in their 40s. That's when women wake
I
up.
think, yeah,
It's
that's
true.
true. That's so
That's when
true.
women wake up because they let their guard down. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Where society told you, like I tell people, you have to know what the etymology of a virgin. A virgin is just a sexually free woman. It has
Oh,
nothing
I'm
to
a
do with
virgin.
chastity.
I'm just playing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, as you grow and evolve spiritually, what it is where in our youth it was what attracted us aesthetically. Now as you mature, I'm not going to say age, as you mature, you become attracted to energy.
it's true.
Energy
Yeah.
is what you buy. It's what you buy. Like I tell my clients that are single, I said it's two things that are important. It's in the kiss, but the initial hug. How do
Yeah,
you feel in that person's arms? And I
exactly.
said, if you feel if you feel like resistant or like you want to back away, baby, heed that. That is your divine God goddess instinct telling you
Get the
no.
hell away.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. But if you melt and it feels like a home, just a home you longed for but never quite felt, that's your person. You'll know by
You'll know.
feel.
It's
Right.
energy. It's that energy.
Yeah, most people
Energy
are
never
not looking.
lies. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Now you're making
No,
me
it does
crave a
not.
hug. I haven't wanted a hug
Yeah.
in a long
Yeah.
time.
So like I tell people when they say I'm horny, I
Right.
say you're not horny. You're desirous of intimacy. You miss
Because
intimacy.
as a
Intimacy
mature
is
woman, you want more than just casual sex. And
yeah,
you start to realize there's more to sex than just jumping in bed with somebody
right.
like you did when you were in your 20s and 30s and didn't have
Well,
a clue. They didn't have a
just
clue. You were just doing something because you thought you should. But
okay,
once
but
you
then
make
there's
that
there's
connection, it's
there's
special.
another component to that. The other component is sex. I call it sex. Sex is an acronym. It's not a word. Spiritual energy exchanges.
Oh
That's what
yeah,
sex is.
oh yeah, that makes sense. That is so true.
Yeah.
So
That is so true. That's one of the
sometimes,
stuff I talk about in my book, Yolanda, the one I told you I'm getting ready to finally publish after
Yes.
35 years. I wrote it when my daughter was a kid.
Yeah.
I talk about things like that, the real relationship between men and women, and I'm even modifying it a little bit to include, all people, because back when I wrote it originally, there gay relationships weren't really part of our conversation. But it's about the energy of
It
the
is the
energy
energy
exchange.
exchange.
And I always felt, even as a young woman, that the true pleasure in a sexual union came through the exchange of love. Without that exchange of love energy, it's just a physical act, which is why so many women, I think, are so unsatisfied with it. Because for men, it can be very physical, but for women, it's you're giving something special.
Yeah.
no, men have just been taught to numb themselves to
Is that
that
what it
portion.
is?
That's what it is. See, men, here's the thing. Pay attention to how they psychologically train you. Girls are giving baby dolls as little girls to instill nurturing of children.
Mm-hmm.
Boys are giving
War
toys
to
about war,
Yeah.
but
Because they're
boys
preparing them to
oftentimes
go to war for the future.
no, but boys are innately nurturing. You ever watch a little boy with a baby?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my son
They're
was so nurturing when he was little. He'd be
and
like, "Oh,
gentle
look at
because
the
that's
baby."
that's their natural state. That's that's their natural state.
So if
But they
that's
have to
the
be
case, right? Why do 'cause I feel half and half on that? Because if that is the case, why do men kill children, especially children that are not theirs?
Well, male
They
lions
really do
kill.
it.
It's territorial for some male species, like the
what
male cats and lions will kill the babies so that the
Yeah,
mothers will come in heat again, so that their offspring will be the ones that survive.
yeah.
So
right.
I don't know if
Well,
it may
so
be the
why?
same
That's
thing
not a
with a lot of
nurturing.
men.
That's not nurturing.
No,
It's
it's not.
again, well, you have to remember the male ego. So we're talking about modern times and the male ego. The
True.
male ego,
Well,
he
it's also
wants
can be found in nature too, as Sister
no,
Sophia
what
just.
I'm saying is we're dealing with humans right now. So with humans, the male ego wants the woman to procreate so that and specifically a son. So his name, his genetic line will continue
Well, that kind
forward,
of goes back to what I
right?
was saying about the lion.
Right. But the male ego gets jealous because all the attention
Goes to the
of
baby.
the way that she was taught that it's your job to nurture that baby, he's not getting attention. This
Mhm,
kid is
mhm,
taking
mhm.
and you can look at that in the with mother daughter relationships when the daughter mothers, because of the way the patriarchy is set up, mothers start to see their youth evaporating as they watch their daughters come into maturity, which is why
Mhm,
the mother daughter exchange can become volatile and to the point of violence,
mhm,
be it verbal or otherwise. And that's again because society has told her you're old now, you're useless. You know what I'm saying? And so this is why you have a
Unevolved
generation.
woman, though. That's a woman who's
Yeah,
not evolved.
again, it's a woman living in her ego.
Right.
You have a sector of women who, rather than seeing their daughter as the nemesis, they become friends, and now they want to
Mhm.
hang out. And so the mother is emulating the daughter, and not the other way around.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I have long said that when generations start talking about the younger generation, I'm the one that's gonna pull out the memory card. And it's like, look, you say they dressing loose. You say they wearing their clothes like their titties
Remember?
hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You want
about
me?
you.
Look, you want me to take you back, boo? Because I was there. I'm Gen X, boo. I was there
Yep.
when we was wearing bras as tops, and
Yeah. And
I
low
was
cut
there, love.
jeans.
Look, I was there, and so were you. I was there, and so
Exactly.
were you. You know what I'm saying? So when the boomers started talking about Gen X, and I was like, was y'all the same ones that was throwing burning bras? Is
I
that
tell you.
you?
I tell you. I
Is
tell
that you? Cause baby, no. You know what I'm saying? It's each generation is mirroring the previous generation.
They are,
But
yeah.
because society, wants to be it's the puritanicalness that has been impeding the spiritual growth and
Mhm.
religiosity.
I
And that
agree.
was the other thing that Divine told me: the religions are going away, that
Yes, they
people
are.
are starting to
We
move
predicted
back
that
into
last
their
week.
And that's what
We
I said.
yeah.
Some
predicted
people
that
gonna
last
lose their
week.
minds because the true nature of most religions is revealed.
Yeah.
Yep. Ooh,
People are
baby.
waking
A
up.
lot of people are not gonna be able
Well,
to handle
people are returning to their innate spirituality. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying?
Their
So
innate
it
spirituality.
Yeah,
Exactly.
which
yeah,
is
the
different
innate
from religion.
spirituality,
It's very
and
different.
yeah, it's very different. So as that, again, that's a part of the divine mother. But I
Yeah.
tell people, we're all individuals born at individual times for a reason.
Mhm.
I'm born and somebody could have been born at the exact same time as me, but they're not me.
They're
Somebody
not.
could have been born at the exact same time. We all have purpose.
Mhm.
And, it's a lot of people that feel lost right now. You know what I'm saying? Because corporate America is crumbling because profit was put over people. You know what I'm saying? And so as I tell people, you know, I talked to this person and she's a prophet. I said, ask her how she's spelling profit. Pro-
Funny,
yeah,
PROFIT.
funny.
profits, profits, profiteering,
That's spelling it
profiteering.
that way.
Yeah. So, you got to be mindful of what you're saying. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I tell my clients that come to me for readings, don't take my word or anybody's word for any fucking thing. Take it to your meditation corner. Meditation is the stillness to hear divine. Prayer
Mhm.
is the supplication. S- Pray less, meditate more. Pray less,
I agree.
meditate more, because
I
your
agree.
needs are always being met. Focus on what your desires are.
Yeah.
Like I tell the young people, money can't be a motivator because money is an elusive lover. That bitch likes to run.
And
So,
control. And
right. You know what I'm
control.
saying? So, money is not, you have to engage your heart. What engages your heart? If you do what engages your heart, the finance will flow, the money
Yeah.
will flow.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
can't do anything based on money. Money is not money, like they say, money is the root of all evil. Money is the root of nothing. Money is only as powerful as the hands it's in.
Right. Exactly.
It's
All right,
like a
ladies,
gun.
we gotta start winding down because we've been here for 2 hours, and we
Yeah,
can
it's
be
been
here for
over
another
two
two
hours and
hours
10
if we
minutes, but
allow it to go.
you can
Well,
Yeah,
I thank you guys for
agree with
allowing
us
me in.
because it's gonna go on a long time.
I
Yeah.
know. We'll keep going and going. All right. So before we go, I just want to hear from all of us just a little brief recap, and also tell us where we can find you. We'll start with you, Goddess. Something very brief about tonight, and where can we find you? What do you want to leave with the audience?
Step into your authentic body without fear of retribution, shame. Be who you are. Don't act. I call it isism. Do what you're passionate about. Be who you authentically are and live in your isness. Is not an act. I can change what you act. It's like believing.
Right.
Belief is that which is accepted as fact. Knowledge is what you know. Always look to add to your knowledge base and push yourself to move away from what you believe.
I agree. Thank you. And tell us where we can find you, sis.
You can find me at on Facebook, Goddess Ashtoreth, Goddess Ashtoreth on TikTok, and Goddess Ashtoreth on Instagram.
Please follow her, guys. And how about you, Sister Sophia? Tell us, give us a recap from tonight and tell us where we can find you.
Well, you got my website on there, soulstreaminsights.com. I'm also on Facebook under Sophia Lynn, SOFIALYN. You can just put in that word and it'll pop up. I'm rebranding everything after this last 7 months.
Oh,
Mhm.
Go ahead.
I forgot. On Facebook, you can also go to my fan page, Ashtoreth Insights.
Okay.
I will put that on this program too. On the
Yeah,
rerun.
I completely forgot about that page.
I got you. I got you, sis.
Yeah, I'm on TikTok and IG, but TikTok is brand new and I'm just starting to work with it. So you'll find me there if you look for Soulstream Insights. But what I want to leave is to remember, we talked and God has talked a lot about our words. It's very important to be mindful of what comes out of your mouth. I think it's Abraham Hicks that said, it's not so important what you put in your mouth as it is what comes out of it. We are spellers. Every prayer, everything you say is a spell that you speak that creates in your life what you desire or don't desire. And to carelessly speak not only about yourself, but about another person is going to come back to you, because we are all one. So if you bliss one person, it will come back to you. If you curse that person, that comes back to you too, because we are all one. So just be mindful of your words more than anything. Words are what created the universe, and it's what creates your universe. So if you don't know, and I love the fact that God has reminded us of the etymology of words, and I learned a lot just by listening to what she was saying. I hope you did too, because pay attention to what you say and what you think. You are like a battery. You are a radiator of energy, and you can say things, but if you're not in alignment with your thoughts and your energy frequencies, you are going to end up creating a whole lot of stuff that you don't want. So your meditation is the key to bringing your energy into resonance with the divine. And when you get into resonance and alignment, you will see more of what you want coming into your life than what you don't want. A lot of people don't believe in the law of attraction, but as she would say, that bitch is something. It brings back to you the vibration, the physical equivalent of whatever you vibrate. You see, spirit doesn't understand French, English, Spanish, German, or any of that. It understands frequency.
It's fluent in frequency.
It's frequency. And so what you're vibrating, what you're thinking and feeling, and you can tell when your body is in alignment, you can tell when it's positive and good. Whatever you vibrate is what you're going to see coming back to you. And it's important for you to do the spiritual work to bring that in alignment. Just because you're going through a difficult time does not mean that you're doing anything wrong, because in and through everything you do as a physical being of consciousness, your soul is what's here determining your experience. And when you're in alignment with your soul's purpose and speaking and being in alignment with that energy, you'll see great improvements in your life. And don't be afraid of whatever lessons your soul brings to you, because that's why you are here.
Can I say
I like
this?
that. Okay.
Can I say this?
Mhm.
Mistakes are an echo chamber. That's why
Yes.
it's bound for repetition.
Yes.
See less mistakes and more lessons. The more lessons you see, the more lessons you glean, the further you can go on your path. But you don't make mistakes. The mistake is once, twice is on purpose.
Yes.
I agree with
So
that.
Stop saying I made a mistake. Did you learn something? Then you made no mistakes. If you learned anything from any experience, you've made no mistakes.
It was a learning experience.
It was a learning experience.
Yeah.
And when you shift, that is an aid to shift the mindset out of being somebody's victim. Because nobody can do no more 2-4 with you than you allow.
I
And
agree.
silence is complicit.
Yes, it is.
So silence is complicity. So, complicity is complacence. That's the death of most relationships, is people become complacent. And complacent is not happy. Complacent is not happy. Love is a state of being. Love is a state of being. It's not a destination. It's a state of being. Love should be where you live at.
Thank you for that. So, ladies, I believe that the God of the Bible, okay, said, let there be light. He didn't beg for light. He didn't say, please let there be light. Will there be light? He said,
Well,
let
actually,
there
it was
be light.
they.
Guess what? There was some light, right? So my
Actually,
point
it was they.
be right, they. The gods, right, of the Bible. So my point is this: demand a better life for yourself, because we were talking about words. Words has spells, words has meaning. Demand a better life for yourself. Say it out loud. Demand a better life for yourself, and a better life will come. That's it.
And
Don't
be
ask
willing
for
to
no better
be.
life. Don't pray for no better life. Don't ask for no better life. Demand a better life for yourself. Bottom line. That's it. All right, ladies.
Command
Thank
it.
you for coming. Yeah.
Command it. Yeah, command it.
Okay.
Command it.
Sorry. Command. My mother's has spoken.
Yeah.
Command
Commanding.
a better life
You
for you.
are the commander.
Yes.
So with that being
you're the
said,
captain.
we will see you next week. We do not have a topic for next week, but guess what? We'll have a topic soon.
You
Well, I
always
thank you,
have a
ladies, for
wonderful
having
night.
me.
Oh, you're
I
welcome.
think-
We will have you
I
back
love
for
meeting
sure.
you guys. That was incredible. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your expertise, your insight, and your presence. I really enjoyed talking to you and meeting you.
Pleasure
Oh,
is all mine.
Girl.
Huh?
I said my California girl.
Yes. California Sisters. Let's exchange information offline. Sophia, I would love to stay in contact with you.
Please, please, please. We will.
Yeah.
all right, ladies. We're going to end the show, but thank you for showing up. And we'll see you next week, y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.